Who is a straightforward person? Very, very simple. A person who gets the WhatsApp message and without reading straight forward karta hai na, that person is called straightforward person. What? Person without reading straight forwards, no, that person is called what? Straightforward person. Are you understanding? Okay, fine. So with this, let us start the session. I'm not going to ask you how was the session. All those things is not relevant for us. Okay. So you are done well. I know that. That's it. As simple as that, isn't it? Okay. So one second. Whatever I kept open, it is already gone. Can you give the reaction? You're able to see the screen? Some of you can give the reaction. Okay, fair enough. One of the beautiful subject today is going to be costing. So every time we say, forget about what happened. Yesterday was a mystery. Sorry, history. Yesterday was a history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is the present. Just enjoy. Exams already over. 2 exams I think you have finished at intermediate level. How was it, etc. Not relevant. If it is easy for you, easy for everyone else. Tough means tough for everyone else. Relax and chill. So you are born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. So next 1.5 days, whatever time we have, we are going to plan, prepare, and we are going to be definitely the winners. Fine. The plan of action now. First 8 minutes it is going to be generic discussion. 17 minutes about specific subject. Next 3 minutes general discussion. No subject specific question, as I kept on telling. It is not because I don't want to answer the question, but if I start taking the question, it might confuse a lot of people. That's why we are going by that. Are you able to see the screen correctly? Reaction? Yeah. You're able to see Sandhya? Reaction? Yeah, fine. Next. So costing is a high scoring paper. Aim at 100 out of 129. It is like a value. Paper may not be like maths, but the valuation is like maths. No doubt one question might be a bouncer. One question might be a bouncer. Be ready for it. Even if you leave that, I'm telling extreme case, even if one of the question is very, very tough, just leave it. Doesn't matter. Even if you leave that question, you still will be able to get 80 plus. Read the question carefully. Read the question carefully. One second. Yeah. Read the question carefully. Now it's perfect, perfectly visible. Sandhya, reaction? Yeah. Very good. Soumya, thank you. Then working notes are very, very important. I am reiterating. There is something which you have to tell again and again. Focus on the final answer also. Accounts only, even if final answer doesn't match, it's okay. But here, final answer is also reasonably important. Even if you don't get the final answer perfect, it's all right. Stepwise approach is appreciated by the valuer. Then, what are the do's and don'ts? In the last page, rough sheet, 5 to 10 minutes, write the points for each question to be attempted. As I told you in accounts also. Moment I take up the paper, so at 1:45 to 2 o'clock, just go through the question paper. Then 2 o'clock, take on 5 to 10 minutes. Last page, which you are where you write rough sheet, keep on writing for each question which you want to attempt, which are the important points which you want to note it down. 5 to 10 minutes you spend. That will help you out. Subsequently, even if you miss some points, you can refer and write, and your flow will be comfortable. Working notes are important. Steps are important. Final answer is also important. Write study material language for theory. When you're writing the theory, ensure that your language is reasonably. Now, can you go and by heart the language? Not possible. I'm trying to say to the extent possible, use that language. Right? Correct question number, including the sub questions. And compulsorily attempt extra questions. November 19 onward, they are valuing all the questions and giving you the best. So please attempt, even if you don't attempt, scribble something and come, because who knows, if it is out of syllabus question, you might get some extra marks. Don't, next, what is don'ts? Don't relax before 3 hours. So exam is very easy, exam is very tough. Don't bother. Keep on doing your dharma. Karmanya vadikaraste. That's it. Unnecessary wrong expectation of easy. Are question paper will be easy? Question paper will tough. Question paper is the way it is. The way it cannot be. It will be yellow and black or the white and black. That's it. Across India. Unnecessary tension mat lena, and do not ignore the theory. So last question is normally recently they are asking theory question. So out of 25 marks, even 20 marks if you get, your life will be much comfortable when you go to the problematic areas. Right. Sorry. Right. Okay. Now let us move on to what are the, just 1 second. I think I've selected wrong PPT. Right. I think it is moving now. You're able to? Yeah, fine. Okay, fine. So costing syllabus is very reasonably less, I said. It is an easy, common sense subject. First impression, the best impression. Start with easy and absolutely known question. Syllabus mainly material, labor, process costing, marginal costing, standard costing, contract costing, ABC, and introduction theory. Introduction theory. So maintaining good pace is extremely important. This one we already discussed. Now very important. 50 marks can be scored easily by practicing material, labor, service costing, contract costing, cost bookkeeping, cost sheet. These are all very easy areas and compulsory questions area. Marginal costing, process costing, and certain repetitive theory. Repetitive theory for 20 to 25 marks. Refer exam session material what we are given in caps, or at least introduction material and certain special topics. Fine. Next, do's and don'ts I discussed already. Let us go to the subject first and then come back to these slides. Yeah, fine. There's only interchange of the slides. Fine. So costing in brief. Cost means resources utilized or spent or potentially to be incurred on the manufacture of a product or rendering of a service. So either already incurred or to be incurred or present. Cost includes past cost, present cost, and future cost. Two important objectives of costing: cost control, unnecessary expenditure reduce karna hai, cost reduction, reduction in the per unit cost without affecting quality of the product. Now, how do you look at the cost? Cost can look from different angles. That is called classification. So it can be element wise. In a shirt, the cloth is included, labor is included, overheads. So cloth element wise is material, labor, and expenses. Function wise, what are the various functions? Cost sheet, that production cost, administration cost, etc. Nature or behavior wise classification, very important from marginal costing point of view. Variable cost, fixed cost, and semi-variable cost. Then the other classification can be normality, normal and abnormal, controllability. From decision making angle, there are a lot of costs. Opportunity cost, extremely important. The cost of benefit foregone by not selecting the next best alternative is called opportunity cost. Standard cost is predetermined per unit cost. Budgeted is in total, standard is a per unit. Relevant cost is the cost which is relevant or pertinent for decision in hand. Differential cost is the difference in the cost of two alternatives when you're comparing two projects. Out of pocket is cash cost, imputed is basically notional cost. Fine. Then what is the difference between allocation? These are terms which we get confused. When the cost is directly identifiable to a product, that's called allocation. When the cost is generic in nature, but we still want to charge, that's called apportionment. That's like rent. Absorption is allocation plus apportionment. When you do it on an estimation basis, when the absorbed cost is more than the actual cost, that is called over absorption. When the absorbed cost is lesser than the actual, remember always over absorption means absorption is more. Under absorption means absorption is lesser. That's called under absorption. Then conversion cost, there is one more important term. Conversion cost means from the time the material has entered till it has become a shirt. That's called conversion cost. That means worst cost minus the material cost or direct labor and factory overhead. Then there are only two methods of costing: job costing and process costing. When it undergoes a process 1, process 2, process 3, and finally becomes a product. Yarn, fabric, and garment is called process costing. All of the things are called job costing. Under job costing, we have various types. Your syllabus: unit costing, content costing, service costing, etc. Your subject title is cost and management accounting. Basically, standard costing, marginal costing, etc. The topics of management because they are decision making related. So, what is the definition of a management accounting? Please go to the SEMA terminology or ICMA definition. Fine. Responsibility centers. So, cost control, cost reduction ke liye you have to fix some responsibility. That fixing the responsibility is called responsibility center. It can be either the cost center, profit center, revenue center, etc. Next chapter is material. So one of the most important component in the manufacturing sector is material. And material, there are different ways of inventory control. First one is by heart all these levels: reorder level, minimum level, maximum level. One common sense point is, when I say reorder level, the word reorder will not be used in the formula. When I say minimum level, the word minimum will not be used. When I use the word maximum will not be used. So reorder level, if you buy at maximum into maximum, minimum level cannot use the word what is called minimum, and already maximum is used. That means what is left out is normal into normal. That's the way you should recover. Average stock level, danger level, EOQ. One more important: square root of 2AB by C. A complete, right? Study incomplete. Annual usage in units. B means buying cost per order, and C is CUPA, cost per unit per annum. Next, inventory is as good as cash. You are a dealer in jewelry. One, you lose 1 lakh rupees, or one small diamond piece you lose. Both are equal losses. So relevant cost of the material are normally ordering cost and carrying cost. And when you talk about the keeping the inventory, there are two bin system where one small part should contain the stock, and the larger part will be talking about the remaining stock. Inventory control, there are different methods. Stock setting, I said setting the stock level. ABC analysis, FSN, VED. FSN means fast moving, slow moving, non-moving items. VED means vital, essential, and desirable. Then EOQ and stock taking, perpetual inventory system, or once in a year, periodic. Now, material, there are 4+1 category of losses. Waste doesn't have a scrap value. Scrap has a scrap value, like a sawdust. Defective, it is slightly damaged, but it can be rectified. Cost of rectifying defect is a part of the factory warrant. Obsolete means outdated. Spoilage is so badly damaged, it cannot be rectified. The material ke baad next comes labor costing. Time keeping is recording the total time spent in the factory. Time booking is out of that 10 hours, how much time is spent on, let's say, shirt, how much is spent on pant, how much is spent on chudidar. So time booking to understand the costing of each of the product. Job analysis and job evaluation, basically from analyzing the skill point of view and worth of the job. And labor formula, now it's only two major formulae. Time rate is hours worked into rate per hour. Piece rate means number of units produced into rate. In addition to that, bonus plan, Halsey plan, and Rowan plan. In Halsey plan, 50% of the time saved will be given as a bonus, whereas Halsey is a variation. Instead of 50%, you give 1/3. Rowan plan, the basic formula remains same, wages plus bonus, and bonus will be whatever the time saved, in that proportion will be giving the bonus. Then the labor turnover, the number of times number of employees coming and leaving, how many employees leaving. If the labor turnover is high, it is not good for the company. So there are three methods: separation method, replacement method, and flux method. Separation method, numerator is number of separation. Then replacement method, number of replacement. And flux method, both you add and do it. Next, overheads. So material, labor, expense is the classification. Overhead is all indirect material plus indirect labor plus indirect expense is called overhead, also called on cost. These overheads can be again classified function wise, behavior wise, etc. Like the way discussed the element. Now, machine hour rate is one of the beautiful way of identifying how do we charge the overheads to the product. So cost of running a machine per hour, add all the overheads divided by total number of machine hours. That will give you basic or simple machine hour rate. When you add operators wages to that, it will give you comprehensive machine hour rate. And over absorption and under absorption, how do you treat? One option is transfer it to costing period account, or initially transfer to overhead adjustment account. At the end of the period, transfer to costing period account. Whereas if you think that it is not correctly accounted, where you are setting itself that identifying the over absorption under over absorption was wrong, then you may charge to the concerned product itself. The next one is ABC, activity based costing, only for overhead chapter. Only for overhead chapter, you identify as many activities you can, like in a hotel like Nandini or New Shanti Sagar. So serving department has salute boy salary, order booking salary, what do you call water boy salary, all these things. How do you allocate? I said you go by DMA technique. First divide karo, next multiply karo, then add karo. Division, multiplication and add. So each activity, what are all the activities you have, identify the activity, cost drivers we call it as, I aggregate the cost pool, divided by the number of activity, that will be giving you the division, then multiply by how many times, and then you add everything. That's called ABC. Cost accounting system, there are two methods of maintaining books. One is called non-integrated. If you're a big corporate, you can maintain two separate books, one book for financial, one for costing, and reconciliation of the profit is definitely required, because since you have two sets of books. Integrated bookkeeping, there's only one set of books, so there's no question of reconciliation. The font is all right. Can you give the reaction, Soumya? Font is visible comfortably? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now, to remember easily the journal entries, I have done a beautiful manufacturing process. It is worth noting. This is not hi-fi. It is nothing but a cost sheet. So stores department purchase all the materials and indirect material. Issue to the production department called work in progress. Add direct labor, direct expense, factory order, production ho jayega, shift it to finished goods, add O&A, then it will become finished goods, transfer it to cost of goods sold, add selling and distribution, make a sale. It is nothing but a cost sheet in a form. Now I have coined a simple accounting entry, debit the receiving department, credit the giving department. Stores issue to production. WIP is receiving, debit it. Stores is giving, credit. WIP department account debit to stores ledger control account. Goods manufactured, finished goods control account debit to WIP control account. Accordingly learn. And if it is a non-integrated, you will not open pure financial transaction. All those things will be routed through an intermediate account called GLA, General Ledger Adjustment Account, or Cost Ledger Adjustment Account, or Nominal Ledger Adjustment Account. Where integrated bookkeeping, you open both because you have got only one set of books. Next one is single costing or unit costing or cost sheet. When you manufacture huge quantum of the same kind of product, homogeneous product, that's called single costing. Follow this cost sheet format, be the master. Direct material, direct labor, chargeable or direct expenses. Direct expenses are also called chargeable expenses. The best examples are royalty, fees for technical service, license fees, etc. Add to that works on cost or works overhead. Then adjust the work in progress here. You get works cost. Add O&A overhead. Get cost of production. Stop here per unit. Opening stock of finished goods based on the last year information given. Closing stock of finished goods must be valued based on the current year cost of production. Based on the current year cost of production, that will give you cost of goods sold. Add selling and distribution expenses. That will be cost of sale. Add profit. That will become selling price, estimation or whatever. What is the difference between estimation and quotation? I have manufactured 1 lakh units in the last month. This month I have to manufacture 1,20,000 units. So what may be the cost? That's called estimation. Whereas Sandhya gives me an order for 100 units. So what may be the amount I have to charge? That's called quotation. Almost everything remains same. Factory overhead is a percentage of direct wages. O&A is a percentage of works cost. S&D is a percentage of works cost. Whereas estimation is the only difference between estimation and a quotation. When it comes to the estimation, there is no question of percentage. Entire O&A overhead has to be charged. Whereas when it comes to the quotation, it has to be a percentage of works cost. We take it as. And all of you must know, check up whether the wording is 1/4 on cost or 1/4 on sales. 1/4 on cost is equal to 1/5 on sales, blah, blah, blah. Then batch costing, when you manufacture, especially cycle, all the various components in the batches and then aggregate. And their economic batch quantity instead of EOQ, similar one. Contract costing is when you're into construction activity, building roads, flyovers, etc. A7, accounting standard 7 deals with the construction activity. Percentage completion method has to be followed. And now there is no concept of notional profit, etc. Prepare a simple contract account. All the costs will be debited. On the right side, you should write works completed, either work certified, which is at a selling price, work uncertified at a what you call cost. Work certified is like a sales selling price. Work uncertified is at a cost. Differential is a profit to be taken to the P&L account. The next one is the process account. So yarn fabric garment is the best example. When the product passes through various processes before becoming a final product, that's called process costing. So we prepare a traditional process account with normally 3 columns: particulars, units, rate, and amount. And in that, all the expense on the debit side, credit side, normal loss, normally no scrap value unless specifically they mention. Then abnormal loss has to be valued. It has to be removed from the process account. And if there's abnormal gain, right on the debit side. And process account normally will not show a profit. Then equivalent production. What is equivalent production? I manufactured 60,000 finished goods. 40,000 are work in progress. How do you express? You have to go by 4-table approach. Table number 1, statement of equivalent production. Table number 2, what is the cost per equivalent unit? Table number 3, valuation of the same. Table number 4 is preparing the process account. Then we have approaches to equivalent production. Whenever opening WAP 10,000 they give, listen carefully, 10,000. In that, how much is the material, how much is the labor, how much is the overhead? If they give a split up, then you have to go by weighted average principle. Otherwise, you have to always go by FIFO, unless they give otherwise. So these are the 3-4 steps I already told you. What is joint product? When the products are manufactured in a common process, at one point called split off, when there 3-4 products emerge and they are of the equal importance, they are called joint product. Whereas you are manufacturing one product, incidentally one more product arises, that's called a byproduct. Molasses and bagasse arising in a sugarcane manufacture is called byproduct, whereas kerosene, petrol, etc. arising is called a joint product. The major problem here in the joint product is, till that joint process, how do you apportion the cost? We have various methods: physical unit method, average cost, survey method, etc. But the common one is market value. Here again, be careful. Don't consider selling price per unit. Consider sales value. Number of units into selling price, that's called sales value. Either at split off point or after further processing or working back is called NRV. The process costing continuation, inter-process profit. If the goods are to be transferred from one department to another department, one process to another processor, it may be transferred at cost or at a selling price or at a negotiated price. If it is transferred at cost, we don't have attention because everything is at cost. If you transfer at a market value, whatever the profit which is included in the closing stock, which is still not yet sold, has to be removed from the general P&L account. And inter-process profit account is normally a 3-columnar process account: particulars, cost, profit, and total on either side. In the first process, there cannot be any stock reserve. Only from the second process onwards, we will have a stock reserve. Then service costing, operating costing. When you are into the bus industry, the transport industry, etc., we have normal cost sheet. Normally, we'll have a breakup of fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-fixed cost. Fixed costs are called standing costs. Whenever you use multiple techniques, that's called multiple costing. Construction of a building construction, you may use contract costing. Whereas for architectural consultancy, you may use the service costing. Now we are moving towards the management accounting. So standard costing, margin costing, and standard budgetary control are the topics of management accounting. Standard costing, one of the beautiful topics, a predetermined cost. So here at intermediate syllabus, you are basically talking about material, labor, and overhead variance. One variance you learn for material, same for labor, etc. For example, material price variance within the bracket price, outer column actual quantity consumed. Whereas when you talk about labor, same thing, within the bracket price, but outer column actual labor hours paid. Variable overhead variance is within the bracket variable over rate, outer column actual units. Same way. Price variance, so total variance is split into price variance and volume variance. Almost everywhere is the same formula by heart. Then there are some ratios which are going to be used. Okay, fixed overhead variance. This is a special one. So standard fixed overhead minus actual fixed overhead. Standard is always for actual output minus actual fixed overhead, 2 RMRs. Expenditure variance, special one. Red ink you have to write. In the class I would have told you. Budgeted minus actual. By heart this. This is available in the question. It will be available in the question. You don't have to use your brain also. Budgeted minus actually available. Straight 1 mark you get. Volume variance, either unit based or hours based. Unit based BQ minus AQ. Add and deduct SQ, you get capacity and efficiency variance. Hours based BH minus SH. Add and deduct AH, you will get capacity and efficiency variance. And then we have some formula. This formula please by heart. And ACE, alternate English alphabets. ACE. A is equal to C into E. Activity ratio is equal to capacity ratio into efficiency ratio. The next one is the marginal costing. Marginal cost means additional cost incurred for additional unit or cost saved by not producing an unit. It is nothing but variable cost. Variable overhead is a part of variable cost. Variable cost is a big term, whereas variable overhead is a smaller term, part of the marginal cost. So which is basically prime cost plus variable overhead. And in marginal costing, fixed overhead is always expressed in terms of total. And various formulae, all these are derivation of the first formula. S minus V is equal to C is equal to F plus P. Contribution is nothing but the same thing, sales minus variable cost. See, contribution margin ratio or PV ratio, remember Chandrasekhar Shetty name, C by S. C by S, what is C? Contribution, Chandrasekhar Shetty, you don't write, contribution by sales into 100. Atava, change in contribution by change in sale. In contribution, fixed cost doesn't change. That's why it's change in profit by change in sales. BEP, at BEP, profit is 0. That's why total fixed cost divided by contribution per unit, blah, blah, blah. This formula you by heart. Then the last topic, budgetary control. It is a very small topic, more of theory question maybe, where you do a quantitative or financial statement on an estimation basis. That is what is called budget. At the end, you have to compare and give the analysis. And there's one concept called zero-based budget. Start from the scratch. So you do not keep any base and don't bother about what is the previous history. Start from the scratch and do the estimation. That is what is called zero-based budgeting. So that's very common in Japan. Most of the new techniques have been developed by Japanese people. So that's about a summary of the costing in a very, very rocket science approach. Now, just to conclude, keep going. Everything you need will come to you at the perfect time. So don't worry, whether I have prepared, whether I am not prepared, don't worry. So day after tomorrow at 1:45, everything will come to you. Relax and chill. And the most important, the beauty, trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. Most of the time we say, sir, I keep forgetting. Trust me, you trust yourself. When you go to the examination hall, page by page, clause by clause, picture memory we call it as, you'll be able to recall. So enjoy the examination. All the best again. Relax and chill. Costing paper, don't have any apprehension. It is an easy paper. Even in the theory, okay, whatever you write to the point, you may get 12 to 15 marks. Aram say 2-3 other problems correct. If you do Aram say you score 50. But my target here is 100 and not 50. Fine. So now I think I should allow you to unmute if anybody want to talk. Normally we'll not, I'm not allowed till now. Now I'll allow anything. Generally, if you want to talk, you have 2 minutes time. Yeah. All of you reasonably understood and enjoyed? Yes, no, both. You can unmute and say.
Yes, sir.
You're able to go through?
Yes,
you're able
sir.
to visualize everything in costing syllabus.
Yes, sir.
Useful?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. Sir. Yeah, no problem. At the beginning, actually, that one PPT, actually, I had done a small correction. That PPT had not come. That's why I taken 1 minute extra. Sorry for that, anyhow. I hope it is useful. You're going to rock the exam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just another 1.5 days, full prepare madi, relax ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, sleep. Sleep for 6 to 8 hours and read. ಓದ್ತಾರಿ, ಬರೀತಾರಿ. Keep reading, keep writing. There is a news actually saying that it is in Kannada, those who can understand Kannada, I'm sorry for non-Kannada people. ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ಸು ಬಿದ್ದು 10 ಜನರ ಸಾವು. ಏನೋ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಬಿದ್ದು 10 ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಾವು. It means Aditya, thank you. ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ. But some people in one corner of Karnataka, they are still searching for that vessel. How big that vessel should be? ಆ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಾರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಸಂ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ, ಸಾರು ಅಥವಾ ರಸಂ ಅಥವಾ ಸಾಂಬಾರ್, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ವೆಸಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Keep smiling, keep enjoying, keep rocking. Enjoy the examination. All the best. God bless you all. Thank you one and all. Thank you.